Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen again today. Today we're doing a tourist dish. When you're down in the Caribbean and you're in the nice resort and everything, you get bisque, a fancy word for soup. Now when you think Caribbean soup, you're thinking provision, thick with coconut milk, split peas, callaloo, pigtail. You know what? This is so light, it's so refreshing, and something you'll enjoy cooking for your family. And this is what I got going here: a spicy coconut shrimp bisque. Got maybe about 5 minutes to go there. Then I'm gonna add the slices of fresh shrimp to it. So here we go. I'm gonna show you guys how simple this is, how tasty it's gonna be, and it's something you're gonna make for your kids, for your family, and they're all gonna love it. Hey, no sense we're from the Caribbean and we're not enjoying the tourist thing, right? So here we go. Remember, it's your first time watching me here on YouTube. Above, you're going to see that subscribe thing. Click on it. All the latest videos you're going to get. Below, you're going to see that comment section. Leave me your questions, concerns, anything you want to chat about, leave it there. And do give the video the thumbs up or like it. It helps the video go viral. It helps me get famous. Hey, I want to get famous, don't you? So here we go. Shrimp bisque. Let's see how quickly we can run through the ingredients for the spicy coconut shrimp bisque. Over here, 1 pound of shrimp, clean, deveined. I've sliced them in half lengthwise, and I'll show you guys in a second how I came to that. What I did was I bought the shrimp with the heads and the shell still on it. I cleaned it all up, and I used the shell and the heads for making a stock, which I have bubbling just over here. It's bubbling away gently. We're going to have some nice flavors from that. Here I have 2 tablespoons of butter, but in total you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter, because I already used 2 tablespoons in sauteing the shells for making that stock. 2 scallions that I cut up rather finely. About a 1/4 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. 1/2 cup of coconut milk. 2 cups of your favorite tomato soup. Whatever sort of tomato soup you like, feel free to use it. Try not to use the canned stuff. Try to get the natural or the organic stuff. They tend to be a lot better. You really want a nice flavor from that. 1/3 cup of diced celery. About half a teaspoon of curry powder. I'm using a Madras blend, one of those Caribbean style curry powder. That's my thing. That's the way I usually go. Caribbean Sunshine, I'm going to use maybe about 1/4 of this, but more the sort of the fleshy bottom part, because once I cut it open and I get to the seeds and the membrane surrounding the seeds, there's just going to be too much heat. We don't want too much heat in this. Yes, it's a spicy bisque, but we don't want to be overbearing. In the bowl here, I've got 1 pound of shrimp. Notice the head is still on there, the shell is still on there. I'm going to show you guys how to prepare this for the bisque, because we're going to need that shell as well as the head for making a sort of a stock for, to help flavor the bisque itself. And all we're going to do, we're going to grab those shrimp. We're just going to rip the head apart. We're going to have to wash it, obviously. The head, like I said, is going to go into the stock or the sort of base that we're going to make. And I'm just going to peel all of this back, as you would normally peel a shrimp. I'm not sure why it's giving me so much problems today, but here we go. So now I've peeled it, and we're going to do double duty here. We need to do a couple things. We need to cut them in half as well as devein them. By the way, I hope you guys realize it's not really veins, right? But all we're doing, sharp knife, cut them down the center in half, and then we're going to get at that vein and we're going to clean it all out. I'm going to give that a rinse after to get that all out. But here I have 2 beautiful pieces of shrimp. Perfect size for the bisque. Again, I remove the head, take the shell out of it. Be so much easier if I had this under running water, but you got to conserve water, right? Now remember, if you have any sort of allergies to handling shellfish, remember to wear gloves. Again, or you can either put it this way and cut it down the center, and then we're going to take that vein out of there. Just going to go ahead and clean those up, but that's pretty much how we're going to do it. Continue doing that for all of them. Cut them in half, devein, shell off, head off, and we're going to make a quick stock with that. In a pan, I'm going to add a chunk of butter. That's about 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to turn up my heat just to melt that butter a bit. And what we're making here is the base for that stock. All of that goodness from the shrimp head as well as the shell I'm going to be using in here to make a sort of a stock that we're going to add to the soup. Here is the clean shrimp. I've already cleaned it all up. It's nice and lovely. Deveined, cut lengthwise in half. So I'm just going to go melt this butter down. And as it melts down, all I'm going to do is dump in all of that shrimp rejects, I guess, into the pot. Give that a quick stir, and all I'm going to do is wait till everything becomes pink. It's usually probably going to take a couple of minutes to go pink, and then we're going to add some water to it. After about 3 minutes, you'll notice it'll go nice in a lovely pinkish orange color. That's exactly where we want it to be. I'm just going to turn up the heat because I'm going to be adding some water now. So in goes 2 cups. In total, I'm going to use 3 cups of water. Now all I'm doing here is I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce it to a very low heat. I'm just going to put it on a smaller burner and get ready. Allow that to simmer away for about 20-25 minutes while I work on the main parts of the soup itself. I've got a deep heavy pot here on a medium heat, and I'm just going to throw in that butter and melt it all down. As soon as it starts melting, we're going to start building on those flavors. So we're going to add the diced celery, the scallion, as well as Scotch bonnet peppers. Now if you're looking for something a bit more tame, a bit more mild, you can use any sort of one of those Mexican peppers. I'm just going to give that a quick stir and allow that to sweat down for a couple of minutes on a medium heat. It's been sweating down now for about 3-4 minutes. It should be nice and tender. What we're going to do now, and this is a take on down south cooking like Louisiana, New Orleans, all that, they usually make a roux. So we're going to add that flour to here, but I'm just going to turn my heat down to minimum. Just add that flour in there, and you really want to stir the flour around in here. I've turned up my heat because we want to bring this up to a simmer, and the next step here is to add that shrimp stock that we had simmering away to the pot here. So I'm just going to use a strainer, and I'm just going to strain that directly into the pot. And I'm just going to whisk that. You really want to whisk it so you don't get any sort of clumps. Continue whisking. It's coming up to a boil now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to whisk in that coconut milk. Get all of it in there. Hit him with that curry powder. Now if you got curry paste, feel free to use that as well. I don't want you going out to the grocery store just to buy curry for this. But it's going to give it a wicked little, hey, it's the whole spiciness of it, right? Fresh ground black pepper. Now this here is optional, but I love me some fresh ground black pepper. Give that a quick stir. And the majority of times, those pre-made tomato soup you get in the package usually comes with a lot of salt in there, so this won't need a lot of salt. I'm just going to hit them a pinch of salt. And later on, I'm going to taste near the end after I add the shrimp to see if it needs some more salt. But what I'm going to do here now, bring this up to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, and allow it to simmer away for about 15 minutes. It's been simmering now for about 15 minutes or so. Smells amazing as usual. I mean, they say in my kitchen, it's got to smell good, right? I'm just going to add those lovely pieces of shrimp directly to the pot now. Give that a quick stir, and we're just going to cook that for a couple minutes because, I mean, it's shrimp, it's thin, It cooks very fast. I'm just going to give that a stir. After about 2 or 3 minutes, you want to taste, add some more salt, add black pepper if you want. But hey, we're pretty much done here. Just want to give you guys a peek. The soup, the bisque is all done. Spicy coconut shrimp bisque. Look at those juicy pieces of shrimp all ready. Hey, I've got to get some toast bread. Place smelling nice, tasting nice. And by the way, all check for salt, pepper. Add some more if you need to, but this is golden. Chris here at CaribbeanPod.com. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen again today, guys. I so appreciate it when you guys do. And remember, most of all, the best praise you can give me is to make this for yourself and for your family. It's a wonderful, wonderful soup. Cold winter night, you're good to go with some nice toasted, crusty bread with butter, coconut bake. Here we go, guys. Spicy coconut shrimp bisque.